So sometimes when I'm completely bored out of my mind, I think about changes I'd make to certain games. A change I've been thinking about for Genshin Impact since at least version 2.7 is allowing characters to level up to level 100 and giving them a new Ascension passive. This will allow weaker characters to have a chance at redemption and stronger characters to have some quality of life added to their kit. This video is not meant to be serious and is really just meant to document a 2-year-old notepad. This episode will go over the Ascension passives of characters that were available when the game released. Then the next would go over characters from version 1, then version 2, etc. With that out of the way, let's get into it, starting off with everyone's favourite Outrider. When Baron Bunny is placed on the field, Baron Bunny deals 30% of Amber's attack as pyro damage. When a Baron Bunny is on the field, Amber's aim shot charge time is decreased by 60% and aim shot crit damage is increased by 100%. When Amber's aim shot deals a critical hit, Amber gains 3 energy and 15% attack for 6 seconds. The point of these new Ascension passives isn't to make weak characters OP, but rather at least serviceable. Baron Bunny usually doesn't generate energy until it explodes, but now it will also do so when placed on the field. I think Amber can be well suited for the sharpshooter role, and for those that say not every enemy has a weak point, you can go fight slimes with someone else. While Let the Show Begin is active, Barbara's normal and charge attacks grant 2 energy to all nearby party members excluding Barbara. This effect has a 1-second cooldown. After Shining Miracle is used, the next character to take the field gains an additional 10 energy. This effect has a 25-second cooldown. If you're using Barbara, you're most likely using Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers on her as well, so an additional 10 energy after using her burst for whoever gains the Thrilling Tales buff is honestly quite useful. Increase elemental skill damage by 25%. When a perfect parry is triggered, resets the elemental skill cooldown, and grants a 30% electro damage bonus for 8 seconds. This effect can occur every 8 seconds. The 30% electro damage bonus will include the skill that triggers it, and after that you can perform something like your burst or another elemental skill to deal even more damage. Fantastic Voyager's healing HP restriction is nullified. There's nothing really to say about this one, it just makes Bennett even more broken. Party members in the Frost field created by Elemental Skill will receive a cryo damage bonus of 25% and a cryo crit rate bonus of 12.5%. This passive gives Chongyun something extra to support characters that have his cryo infusion. When energy is full, normal charged plunging attacks and elemental skill damage will be increased by 30%. Elemental skill cooldown will be reduced by 40%. Additionally, while energy is full, performing the third strike of Searing Onslaught will grant Diluc Pyro Infusion and 20% pyro damage bonus for 6 seconds. One of the problems with Diluc in my opinion is that although his burst looks cool, it pushes opponents away. This will allow you to still do decent damage and even gain a pyro infusion without using your burst. When Oz hits an opponent, all party members gain 1 energy for every electro character on the team. This effect can occur every 1.5 seconds. Fischl is kinda broken as is, and I didn't want to give her even more damage. The active character within Dandelion Field gains 3 energy every second. If the active character is Jean, grants 1.5 energy to all party members including Jean every second. Since Furina's release, Jean has come back in a big way, only to be stomped on again immediately by Cloud Retainer. Giving her a little bit more energy will hopefully help her as the only Anemo character in Furina teams. While Elemental Burst Glacial Waltz is active, Kaeya's normal charged plunging attacks and elemental skill damage and crit rate will be increased by 25% and 15% respectively. Kaeya can actually become a pretty decent unit given how crazy some 5-star swords are, so hopefully the extra damage can go a long way. Electro Infusion gained from Passive 1 Thundering Penance increased by 3 seconds. Burst grants Electro Infusion for 9 seconds. For 9 seconds after Burst is activated, Quicken, Aggravate and Spread reactions caused by Keqing can now crit, with his crit rate and crit damage fixed to 60% of Keqing's crit rate and crit damage. Keqing got a lot better with Dendro, however since her Ascension stat is crit damage, I thought allowing her reactions to crit will allow her to compete with 4.0 units. When Lisa causes an elemental reaction, applies 1 conductive stack to the opponent. This effect can occur every 0.8 seconds and can occur even if Lisa is not on the field. Hold elemental skill charge time and cooldown are both reduced by 50%. Elemental skill and elemental burst deal 0.15% additional damage for every 1 elemental mastery Lisa possesses above 300. Up to 30% damage bonus can be gained this way. Although Lisa can do a lot of damage, she takes way too long to gain access to that damage. From my understanding, Overload and Superconduct already apply conductive stacks on the opponents, so this will allow other elemental reactions to do the same. Lisa probably has one of the highest scaling elemental skills in the game, but being that she now runs Elemental Mastery and not Attack, I decided to give her a little extra damage through Elemental Mastery instead. The illusory bubble created by Elemental Burst can now not be removed for 6 seconds after being applied. and will perform as normal after the 6 seconds are over. The Omen's status now lasts for an additional 2 seconds. One of the reasons Mona is used in freeze teams is that her burst bubbles only pop when the opponent is moved by an attack. Because freeze doesn't move the opponent, you can keep Mona's damage bonus up for longer. Now that the bubbles don't pop for the first 6 seconds, you can deal damage to the opponent with whatever characters or reactions you like, while still maintaining the buff. And the Omen effect lasting a little bit longer is just the cherry on top. Jade Screen gains an additional charge. Up to 2 Jade Screens can exist on the field at any one time. When a Jade Screen expires, is destroyed, or Ningguang holds at least 3-star Jades, increases Ningguang's geo damage bonus by 18%. This effect can stack up to 3 times and last for 7 seconds. Having 2 Jade Screens on the field means that her burst all of a sudden has a lot more Jades flying everywhere. And being that her burst destroys the screens, it will benefit from the geo damage bonus as well. Whenever the passive talent Nice and Clean activates, Noelle gains 6 energy. With the release of Farina, pretty much Noelle's only problem is energy. So this passive will grant her energy every time she activates the talent that reduces her elemental skill cooldown every 4 normal attack hits. The second passive talent, A Glimpse into Arcanum's cooldown, is now reduced to 12 seconds. Opponents affected by Fortune Preserving Talisman will have their defense decreased by 20%. When party members' normal or charge attacks or Qiqi's elemental skill deals damage to opponents affected by Fortune Preserving Talisman, decreases Qiqi's skill cooldown by 2 seconds and grants Qiqi full energy. This effect can occur every 2 seconds. When Qiqi performs Overflow Healing, increases the party's attack by 20% of the overflow healing done for 6 seconds. Up to 800 attack can be gained this way. Qiqi is known for being one of the worst 5 stars in the game. Although she does a lot of healing, that's pretty much all she does. This will allow her to provide other utility to the team as well. Qiqi's second passive talent allows her to apply a Fortune Preserving Talisman to opponents for 6 seconds every 30 seconds. 30 seconds, however, is way too long, so I reduced it to 12. Another problem for Qiqi is that she doesn't generate energy and her skill cooldown is way too long, so this will hopefully fix it. The defense shred is just cause why not, and the attack bonus is another way for Qiqi to support the team. I have to give credit to Vars' Fixing Qiqi video, as a number of these ideas came from there. If you want to see that video, it'll be in the description below. Opponents hit by Hold Elemental Skill Claw and Thunder will have their physical resistance reduced by 15% for 12 seconds. This effect will be increased by 5% for every sigil consumed with Hold Skill. This means with the maximum of 3 sigils, you'll be able to get a 30% physical res reduction with this Hold Elemental Skill. I know some players now use him with Dendro, but Razor is meant to be a physical character. For every opponent hit by Elemental Skill, grants 2 energy to all party members. A maximum of 8 energy can be gained this way from a single Elemental Skill. At this point, I'm just going to give powerful 4 stars additional energy, as there's no point of giving them additional damage. For legal reasons, this is a joke. If Guoba is on the field when an opponent is defeated, Guoba attacks an additional 1 time, up to a maximum of 4 times. I think Xiangling's burst does enough damage, I don't need to add to that. If I were to add anything else though, I'd make her Pyro Implosion gained from one of her early constellations to also apply through her charged attack, instead of just the end of a normal attack combo. Increase the maximum amount of Rain Swords by 1. When a Rain Sword is shattered or expires, grants full energy to the active character. This will increase Xingqi's damage reduction, and more energy is more energy, so why not? When Traveler deals swirl damage, gain 10% Anemo damage bonus for 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. Windblade, created by the first Ascension passive, Slitting Wind, now has a 30% chance of being created by any normal attack. A Windblade can only be created this way once every 3 seconds. The Tornado, created by Elemental Burst Gust Surge, will now stop moving after 1 second. Anemo Traveler's Tornado can deal a decent amount of damage, but players usually have to stop it by using Zhongli's Pillar. Now you can use an elemental skill to gain an Anemo damage bonus, then use your burst in order to deal damage to enemies. Now that you know it will stop, you can position it much easier to deal the most amount of damage. Their first Ascension passive will create a Windblade at the end of their normal attack combo. Now you have a chance to perform it with any normal attack, but if you get that unlucky, you'll still automatically perform it at the end of the normal attack combo. Party members within the field created by Elemental Burst, Wake of Earth, gain a 20% damage bonus. If a Geoconstruct is within the proximity of the field created by Wake of Earth, all allies gain a 32% attack bonus and a 24% defense bonus. By giving both an attack and defense bonus, this allows Geo Traveler to work with both attack and defense scaling Geo characters. Originally, I was thinking to make the 20% damage bonus a 20% Geo damage bonus, but making it 20% straight up damage bonus allows Geo Traveler to work with pretty much any unit. This is a quick reminder that at C6, Geo-Traveler's burst field lasts for 20 seconds. That means under these conditions, every character within the field will gain 20% damage bonus, 32% attack, and 24% defense for 20 seconds. And being of the Geo element, he shouldn't interfere too much with the reactions of other party members. So hopefully all this will grant him more playability. Either way, that's as far as I'll take it with this video. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening to me ramble on about stuff that will probably never happen. And if I ever feel like it, I'll continue forward, starting off with Venti. So if that's the case, I hope to see you next time.